Hi, I'm Sandy from Lightning Tools, and I'm here again with Brett. How are you?
Very well, thank you, Sandy. Yeah, how are you?
Very good, thanks.
Good, good.
Starting to
Cool.
get to be summertime here in southwestern Florida.
Yep, yep. It's I bet it's getting pretty hot there. So go on then. What's the temperature in Naples?
Oh, it is 83.
Right. Okay.
Not quite
So
noon yet.
yeah. So I think it's roughly 25-ish Celsius. So we're 13 Celsius. So yeah, you got a good 30 degrees Fahrenheit on us.
Mm.
So
Yeah, plus it's starting to get damp and yeah, raining each evening as it does.
hmm yeah, yeah, for that 1 hour of
Mm.
predictable rain. Yeah.
Yeah, we've been wondering what happens to the lizards because I can see outside my window here, there's like a little rock stream, which has just rocks in it normally, and the lizards are all running around. But then the rain comes pouring down and it turns into a stream, and I don't know what happens to the lizards.
Well, maybe they can swim.
Maybe.
Cool.
Anyway,
Fantastic.
what are we going to talk about today?
Yeah, I want to hear how you're going to do a seamless transition from lizards to
Uh,
lightning forms. Go.
uh, yeah, speaking of forms, how's that?
Not good, not very good at all. I think so. Lizards are sweet, right? And we're going to be talking about the lightning form suite, right?
Okay, all right, that
So there
makes
we go.
slightly
Different kind
more
of sweet,
sense.
but yeah. So
Also, I've never eaten lizards, so I don't know.
yeah, yeah. Well, they're sweet to look at, as in cute. But there we go. So so yeah, lightning form suite. There we go.
Hmm.
It's made up of 3 different products, and each of these, well, 2 of the products we're going to talk about are available independently. You don't have to go for the suite. But yeah, let's just talk about what the Lightning Forms suite is, and then we can jump into a bit more depth into each of the different products, and in a couple of weeks' time, we'll also be talking about what's new as well. So yeah, do you want to start off with one of them?
Okay, sure.
Lightning
Uh,
Forms?
yeah, I'll go with Lightning Forms, which is sort of the cornerstone of the suite, I guess I would say. And that is our form customization tool. So what that lets you do is with any SharePoint list that you have, if you want to create a customized experience for people to be able to enter data into the form, to view data that's already in that list, and to be able to edit items in the list, then you can customize each of those out of the box SharePoint forms, which always exist, customize them with Lightning Forms using really easy drag and drop kind of an interface to be able to turn those forms into basically whatever you want them to do. You can do things like add tabs, add separate columns, move the fields all around, give them different names, style them conditionally or non-conditionally. Yeah, all kinds of different styling, text boxes, images, really whatever you want to add to those forms. And it's done right in your browser, right in SharePoint. So you always get the context of exactly what's in your list already. You know, if you're working with the display and edit forms, for example. And I find it, and I think all of our customers find it very easy and intuitive to use. You don't have to know any code. You don't have to know JSON to do the formatting, like the new built-in formatting that Microsoft is providing, which is pretty basic, but you do have to use JSON still to do that. Or the other Microsoft alternative to that is customizing the list form in Power Apps, which you also can do, but that is not very intuitive, I would have to say, as far as arranging things on the screen and doing calculations, adding sublists, for example, is not really an easy thing in Power Apps, but it's super, super easy in Lightning Forms. So yeah, those are some of the things that customers tell me when I'm talking to them about why they find it so easy to use.
Yeah, that's great. And I think you mentioned sublists. That's one of the features that a lot of people are looking for, especially when they're coming from an InfoPath background. So if
Mm-hmm.
you've been using like info path with repeating tables, they want that same sort of functionality. So yeah, if we've got that sort of one-to-many type scenario or master detail scenario, you can absolutely implement that super easily. So you might have, well, I think the example that we always give is like an expense claim form, because an expense claim is always going to have multiple expense items. So you can have your expense items in one list, your main expense form, which has kind of the header information for that form, as your main form, and then simply embed the expense items on the page. So yeah, you're completing one form, but populating two lists, and of course it will read that content in that way as well. And it's using a simple lookup column in order to be able to create that relationship, which you don't even have to build yourself. It will build that for you.
But
Yeah,
also you might already have it if you've related your lists to each other.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, absolutely right.
I met with a customer this morning actually about Lightning Forms. They had a question with a new form that they were doing because they're getting some really good adoption. They're a new customer, but the main form that this gentleman has been working on really has, I don't know how many sublists he has in there, but like when you click on something to choose an option, then additional tabs open up and additional sublists appear. And he's just really created a masterpiece of a form already.
Wow.
Within just a matter of a couple weeks of doing that as a side task.
That's fantastic. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is very quick and easy to build a
Mhm.
really powerful solution. Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. It's yeah. So I know sometimes when I'm demonstrating Lightning Forms, it's sometimes you think, oh, is the customer even listening to me? Because you just hear crickets, and then you ask if there's any questions, and then you say, no, I'm just blown away with what you can do so easily. And it's like, yeah, that's true. It's very powerful.
Mm.
So, and another product actually is something we've had available for quite a while now. I think it's over a year. Is Lightning List Actions, which is a great product for getting command bar buttons built into the modern user interface of SharePoint Online, and using that in order to be able to perform some actions against either a list item or multiple list items or all list items that are in a view.
Mm.
And Lightning Forms has these actions as well. So it has an action builder. So you can use the action builder to do things like modify a field value. You can send an email. You can close the form. You can save the form. All of these things. And it's important to say that it's not necessarily a workflow as such, but it's a series of different actions that can have conditions, can have variables, and so on. But they're not long running.
Right.
These are going to be things that are going to fire immediately, of course, based on the condition if you do make them conditional. But there's a series of different actions that you can put together. So performing something like a workflow, is ideal. An approval sort of workflow type scenario is ideal for the list actions, because you want to click a button that says approve, and it's going to make some changes immediately, such as maybe modifying a field value of approved from no to yes. You could set who the approval was, the date of the approval, that sort of thing. But of course, that actually takes you coming in and clicking the button in order to fire that series of actions. But your everyday sort of workflow type things that you might use Power Automate for or something like that can easily be done using actions, as long as it's not going to be something that's, like say, long running.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, you can store state in fields, so you could have hidden fields and so on, if that was something that you wanted to refer to at a later date. So those actions are available in list actions. So if you wanted to not go into just a list item and open up the display form or the edit form and then click a button, you could do it right from the view itself. So going back to the expense scenario again, I might have, from my team, 20 different expenses, for example. I can see that they're from the summary information from the main form inside the main view. I can see that nobody's gone over their expense claim limit or anything like that. Maybe I trust my team. So what I can do is just simply go through and select all 20 and hit approve, and that could go through and approve them all in one go. And that, if you think about it, would save a tremendous amount of time opening up each one, clicking on approve, and closing it again, and so on. So yeah, that's the list action. So you can use that for a whole series of different things. Of course, not just approval, but yeah, any form of modifying fields or notifying people about the items or anything like that.
Or generating a document.
Nice seamless link there. Tell us more.
Right. So Document Generator is the other part to the Forms suite, Forms Designer suite, and that's available for either Lightning List Actions or Lightning Forms. The one license covers them both, so that's how you can buy them as a suite. But what that lets you do is take the data from your SharePoint list and create an actual document out of it. So you basically create a Word document template that has placeholders for your different fields in your list. And then when it comes time to generate the document based on a particular list item, which you could do from within a form that that a user is in, or you could do it using Lightning List Actions on one or more items that are in that list that you select. Then it will generate that document, which can then be turned into a piece of paper if you needed to, or you can save it as a PDF and send that to wherever it needs to go. But then it's nicely formatted. So in the case of your expense claim example, you can even have it loop through the expenses, for example, that are in your sub list and create sort of a table at the bottom, but with the main information at the top. And then it's all nice in a branded document that you can file away.
Absolutely, and that is just great for some scenarios, such as like purchase orders or something like that, where you have to give somebody a copy of the information that has gone into the list item, but you want it inside a document format. So yeah, that way, of course, once you've got that document, you can share it. You could print it, you could save it as a PDF, and all sorts of things. But there's actually a couple of choices with the generate document as well. You could either have it generate immediately, so it's like a download inside your browser where you can open that up, or you can also just have it generate inside a document library. So it's also useful from a sort of records management type thing as well. So if you had a series of documents, again, it's like, yeah, I want to make these a record. They could go through and put those into a different document library in a document format. So yeah, some great stuff there.
Yeah, I would say that's a common ask that I've heard like for years in SharePoint is I've got all this data in a SharePoint list, but how can I print it nicely? Like just using a browser print just does not do it.
Nope, absolutely not. So yeah, it's and it's making use of Office, and like I say, you could send that as an attachment as well, which brings us on to sort of things you might want to do using the new version of Lightning Forms or List Actions. Is yeah, we've done some work with the send email action. I'm not going to spoil the next show, but yeah, that's one of the things that is new. There's a few things that are new, but yeah, if you want to tune into this in a couple of weeks' time, we'll be talking about some of the new features of Lightning Forms and Lightning List Actions as well.
Yep, and we've got a webinar scheduled for that as well.
We do.
Do you recall the date?
We are usually the third Thursday of the month.
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah, thereabouts.
Yeah, I think it might be the 26th or something. Yeah. Well, we'll put the link.
We'll put the link. Yeah, it probably is the 26th, I would imagine. I don't think it's as early as the 19th. So yeah, that gives me some time to build my deck and my examples. So,
yeah.
Wonderful. Well, I look forward to being able to share the new features, and look forward to speaking to anybody on the webinar who wishes to attend as well. So.
Yep. And if you have any questions in the meantime, please feel free to ping us on the YouTube video or just sales@lightningtools.com.
Sounds good. All right. Well, thank you, Sandy.
Thanks.
Take care.
All right.
Bye-bye.
See you later. Bye.